Hello everyone, Jeff with the Green Review here. For most plants, leaves are chemical factories, taking air, water, and minerals combined with sunlight to create thousands of complex chemicals. Water is necessary in this process, and it transports nutrients at the same time. Water is moved through the whole plant by surface tension that holds the water molecules together. In a leaf, there are pores called stomata. Stomate is singular. As a water molecule evaporates out of the stomate, it pulls on the remaining water molecules and they pull on others, eventually all the way down to the roots. This process of water movement is called transpiration. Transpiration also cools the leaf as the water evaporates away. Plants open and close the stomate with two guard cells to regulate water loss and the temperature. When the leaf has plenty of water, the two guard cells inflate with water to opposing C shapes, opening the stomate. Without water pressure, the cells deflate and close the opening. Gases also move into and out of the stomata. Plants release oxygen during photosynthesis that escapes the leaf through the stomata. Carbon dioxide is used during photosynthesis, moves in. The stomata openings are more common on the bottom surface of a leaf in dicots, evenly distributed top and bottom on monocot leaves, but in like water lily leaves, they float on the surface of the water, they're only on the top of the leaf. At the base of a leaf is a bud for a new stem or flower. The stem of the leaf is called the petiole, and the flat part of the leaf is called the blade. The petiole may be flattened or have wings or ridges. A wing-like growth called a stipule may form at the base of the petiole. A leaf or leaflet without a petiole is sessile. The blade portion may have many shapes, such as arrowhead, heart, lobed, oval, pointed, round, or toothed, and it may be hairy or smooth. The vascular veins in a leaf may be nearly parallel, as in most monocots, or they may be in a network, as in most dicots. Many monocot leaves have a sheath that wraps the stem between the internodes, as seen in many grasses and palms. The sheath may have collars, auricles, and ligules that help identification. Netted leaves may be palmate with veins radiating out from a central point. They may be pinnate, which has a central vein and branching side veins. So what's this mean to me? Leaves are often much more complicated than many people suspect. Multiply compound leaves can be huge. Some palm leaves are more than 10 feet long. Leaves are arranged on stems to receive the most sunlight. If they do not get enough, the plant will drop that leaf. Plant stalks are in a whole other category. A stalk is a slender supporting part on any plant or animal. That means it could be the plant part that attaches a leaf or flower to a stem, or in the case of the corn, the whole plant. We rarely use the term stalk because it's so generic. For instance, what is a celery stalk? Some would say it's the whole thing you buy at the store, since the bag says it contains one celery stalk. Others would say it's just one rib or stick of the larger thing bought at the store. Celery plants are crown growers. They have a short stem growing at ground level that has roots and leaves coming off of it. The celery plant is harvested by cutting through the crown, leaving part of the crown and the roots in the ground. Each celery leaf can be pulled off the crown. Both ends can be cut off and then can be eaten. The part that is being eaten is the leaf petiole. It can also be called the leaf stalk, but it's not a stalk. So what's this mean to me? Can you think of other foods that are leaf stalks or leaf petioles? What do we eat when we have rhubarb pie? Like simple leaves, a compound leaf has a bud for a stem or flower at the base, but not in the leaf itself. Each leaflet can be as varied as the simple leaves. Compound leaves can be pinnate with a leaflet at the end for an odd number of leaflets, or without one on the end for an even number of leaflets. Palmately compound leaves radiate out from the central point. Compound leaves may be multiply compound with even or odd numbers of leaflets. A compound leaf has a bud at the base of the petiole. The petiole is branched into petioles, and there are no buds at their base. Most maples have simple leaves, but some are compound, such as box elder. Roses have compound leaves, and honey locusts have multiply compound leaves. Compound leaves can be palmately or pinnately compound. As the name suggests, palmately compound leaves have leaflets that radiate out like fingers on a hand, such as on chestnuts. Pinnately compound leaves branch off a central stalk and may look like a feather, such as on ferns or hickories. The outer skin layer of the top and bottom of a leaf is called the epidermis. It's often covered in a wax coating called the cuticle. Under the epidermis are the tall palisade cells and the round, spongy mesophyll cells. Both have chlorophyll, and most photosynthesis takes place here. There are empty spaces between the mesophyll cells where oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged. Leaf veins run through this layer to bring water and nutrients. Stomata form pores in the epidermis to allow for water evaporation and gas exchange. The thickness, shape, and size of the cuticle, epidermis, palisade, and mesophyll layers change as they're formed, and they respond to the amount of daylight, humidity, temperature, and wind conditions they live in. If the environmental conditions change enough that the leaf is no longer a viable producer of carbohydrates, the plant will drop the leaf. What's this mean to me? Botany may be rocket science. Leaf buds on many plants include tiny leaves all folded up and ready to expand in size when they're released from dormancy. When Japanese scientists needed to fold a solar panel compactly into a satellite, they looked at God's creation of leaves inside a beech tree bud. The design was lightweight, strong, and could unfold without heavy supporting structures or motors. The same folding design of leaf buds is also being considered for folding up heart stents and road maps. What are those? Who knows what a road map is these days? So try this at home. For some plants, a leaf can be used for propagation. Pluck an African violet leaf close to the crown of the plant. Stick the petiole halfway down into a clump of damp sand or perlite. Place a plastic bag over it and keep the humidity up, and put it in a bright but not sunny location. In a few weeks, roots and a new crown will develop. Lay a Rex begonia leaf on damp sand, held in place with paperclip hoops stuck into the leaf. Cut through the main vein in a couple of places, and new plants will develop at the cuts. Modern orchid clones are produced by placing an orchid leaf in a blender with other ingredients and placing the mix into flasks where sometimes hundreds of orchids will develop. All the new plants are identical to the original plant and are called clones. It's possible to purchase flasks from some orchid supply companies already filled with baby orchids. In other words, what's this mean to me? Many plants have leaves with varying amounts of chlorophyll and other pigments within the leaf, so you have a variety of colors. For instance, this tricolor ginger has white and green variegations on the top of the leaf and bright red leaves on the bottom. So there's very pretty different colored pigments available on some plants. And then we have red begonias over here. We have red, white, and green on the rubber tree. A lot of bromeliads have different colors of red. Some of the tillandsias have silvery leaves with little trichome, little scales or hairs that are on the surface of the leaf that help reflect sunlight. So there's a lot of variations there. White and green variegations on a lot of different vines that are used in container plantings. If the leaf is completely white, it will probably end up dying or it'll be scorched with the sunlight, because chlorophyll does help protect the plant leaves from too much sunlight. So when you have leaves that are variegated, that's fine. You're not getting as much food production from those leaves. But when you get completely white leaves, you're getting virtually no production, and those leaves will end up turning brown and falling off and not looking very nice. So we don't want completely white leaves, even though that does look pretty nice sometimes. Some plants, like this Amorphophallus konjac or voodoo lily, have a single leaf each year. This is also the case with trilliums and jack-in-the-pulpits and a few other of our native bulb plants. And this one is from Asia, but this right here is the petiole. It has one giant petiole that looks like a camouflage trunk. The leaf blade is split out into 3 or 4 or 5 different directions and is not just bipinnate, but tri or quadruply pinnate. And it has leaflets that spread out like a tattered umbrella. This leaf can be 3 to 5 feet high and wide, and it makes a really nice tropical looking plant. So what does this mean to me? Buds for flowers, leaves, stems, and roots are only produced on stems. Special leaves may have shapes that look like stems. A vine may have special leaves that look like short branches. Cactus leaves are advertised as having nutritional properties, but the promoters of such products are talking about cactus pads, which are actually cactus branches, not the leaves. It would be hard to make a drink of grinding up the spines of true cactus leaves. For some plants, leaves have been modified to fill secondary purposes. Poinsettias and dogwoods have colorful leaves called bracts that surround the much smaller true flowers. The spines of a cactus are the leaves, and the green pads are modified stems where photosynthesis occurs. This Virginia creeper leaf is modified to be a tendril with holdfasts on the end. It can cling to any surface and doesn't need to wrap around it. Sweet autumn clematis compound leaves use the petiole and petioles as tendrils to wrap around objects. And this is Jeff with the Green Review. Thanks for watching.